Welcome to a Heller Good podcast. Birthed for those beginning their health journey, curated for the curious, established for the empaths, generated for growth mindset, and produced for pleasure. I'm your host, Michelle Heller. Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of a Heller Good podcast. Today I wanted to share 3 things that I learned from Cathy Heller. And I hope that you feel the same and you're able to integrate these things into your life, or at least use them as a gentle reminder. I think she's fantastic. And the question I'm sure is lingering is, Heller, are you guys related? No, I don't think we are. I mean, we're all kind of related, but I don't believe so. Though she does look like a younger version of my mom, which makes me feel warm inside. And I like that a lot. And she's got the freckles too. Bonus. But before we get into those 3 things, I wanted to give you some backstory on how I found Cathy Heller. It wasn't just a coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidences. I do believe the universe speaks to us constantly, and sometimes we're willing to listen, and sometimes we're not. So if we go back to June of 2019, I was at a conference for Life and Wealth Mastery with Tony Robbins, and it was just mind-blowing, an amazing experience, so much growth that I experienced. But my favorite thing from the entire week was meeting my friend Carrie. Now, Carrie, if you saw her, she just has this presence about her. And the first day when I laid eyes on her, I was like, she's gonna be my friend. We will be friends. But not to get creepy. So like a normal person, I was just like, hi, would you like to be friends? Would you like to be on my team? And she graciously accepted, and we've been friends ever since. She introduced me to a lot of amazing books that have changed the way I look at nutrition, the way that I look at growth mindset, and really opened my eyes to a lot of things because I was ready for it, and it was wonderful. So she's always been someone I have admired for that. She's several steps ahead of where I am, and I love that because it makes me want to grow more. Do you have a friend like that in your life that challenges you, that you're like, I could never be as, or I hope to one day be as? And if you don't have a friend like that, go find yourself one. Go out of your comfort zone. Go do something that stretches those limits. Not that I'm telling you what to do, I'm just saying it'll help you grow antlers or something. So back to Carrie. I met Carrie and we were inseparable for the whole week. Fast forward to November of 2020, I was on the gram. For those of you who don't know the cool lingo, that's Instagram. And I was scrolling through the feed, and I saw posts that she had of all these books that she has read and how they've helped her be the entrepreneur that she is. And knowing that I love her choices, like there was looking through these books, I was trying to see which ones I had that she had and which ones maybe I would be interested in reading next. And there was one that stood out. It was a teal cover, and it was by Cathy Heller. Granted, I was attracted to the last name, I have to admit. I was like, Heller, that's me! Me too! But the title of the book was Don't Keep Your Day Job. And I also resonated with that because I left my day job in September of 2019 to officially full-time be an entrepreneur and have my own business teaching yoga and wellness. That being said, I just thought, hey, that's cool. We have the same last name, and I moved on. So the next day, I was on a call with my mom, And she says, I tagged you in a post online. I was like, all right. So I went to check it out. She's like, yeah, it was someone named Cathy Heller. I was like, is it the same Cathy Heller who wrote Don't Keep Your Day Job? She's like, oh, I don't know. So I see the post, and Cathy's post was all about helping support small businesses who were starting up, which is something we definitely need during this pandemic. Like, we need the exact opposite of shutting down. We need small businesses thriving. And the only way for them to thrive is for us to support each other. So she suggested, hey, tag yourself, your business, mention a little bit about it, and I'll pick 3 and give you guys shout outs or what have you. And I had never followed her, so I didn't give my business a shout out. It just seemed selfish. But I was intrigued at her generosity, at her thoughtfulness. And I decided to check her out because within 24 hours, someone who I look up to when it comes to growth mindset had her book. And I was like, okay. And then the person who I love beyond words, who gave me life and has been there for me every single moment of my life. Oh, I'm going to get teary just talking about my mom. I love her so much. Did you ever love someone so much that you cry when you think about how much you love them? If not, then we can't relate on that level. But moving on. So my mom, you know, this huge influence in my life, also mentioned her. So I was like, this is the universe. I'm going to check this Cathy Heller out. I go to her website and she's got a quiz. And for those of you that know me, I love quizzes. Give me a quiz. Tell me more about myself. Self-development. I'm all about it. And it was how to find your passion. I was like, yeah, I'd love to get more specific because, you know, something shiny goes by and I'm like, squirrel. Those that can relate, I get super excited about a lot of things, and it's very hard to focus on just one thing. So I take this quiz, and the answer is I'm an investigator. For those of you who have taken the quiz, feel free to share in the comments or reach out to me on Instagram @HellerGood. I'm at HellerGood everywhere, Facebook, what have you, and let me know what you got on the quiz. But I was an investigator, and I was like, yeah, I love that. And they said investigators love like doing research into things and then being creative. And I was like, I love all of that. Yes, yes, yes. And I got a series of emails from her on an email campaign. And though I'm sure she wasn't just sitting there writing me an individual email, because not many people do that these days, especially when they have so many followers, but it still felt warm and it still felt authentic. And I knew right down deep in the swamp, for that's right below the belly button, that like warm center, kind of like where your second chakra is. Yes, that warm feeling. Deep down inside, I was like, I made the right choice by finding her, and I feel she's going to help me take a next step in my personal growth. Boy, I was right. So I decided to start listening to her podcast. And I was really blown away by, again, her warmth, her authenticity. And I hate to be fangirling, but it's kind of hard not to, because there's a lot of thought leaders out there I look up to, like Jim Quick and Tom Bilyeu and Tony Robbins. And if you're noticing a pattern, they're all men. And I'm not a hater on the men. But I want someone to look up to whose voice might be like mine, who has freckles, you know, who, well, she's not orange like me, but, you know, but someone that whose experiences might closer reflect mine. And I was very excited by this. So the 3 things that I took away that I hope really help you, because they've definitely helped me so far, and I'm sure they will continue to if I apply them every single day in my life. So the first one The very first one is together. So do things together. Lift each other up. So many of us who are convinced, especially as entrepreneurs, that we need to do everything by ourselves, or if you're just that type of personality who, like, you're a stay-at-home mom and you're like, okay, I need to be this for my husband or partner, I need to be this for my kids, I need to join the PTA, I need to blah 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 blah. It's like we stack all these expectations on top of ourselves that we need to do this alone, and as soon as we can't do everything by ourselves, you feel like a failure. Can I get a yes? Can I get a guilty? So doing things together, lifting each other up, is something she really stands by. From episode 1 through, I haven't listened to all of them obviously, but it's something that we need more of, especially as small business owners, that you need to find a way to support someone else, to lift them up, because when we lift each other up, we're going to get to where we're going faster. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go faster, go alone. If you want to go farther, go together. And I love that ever since the first time I heard it, which was probably about 6-7 months ago. It really resonated. But Cathy lives that. She lives that, and I want to live that. And I hope you feel the same way, because it's going to make the world a little bit better the more people that lift each other up. So the second thing is perfection, but the opposite of that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have the 20 years of research to change someone's life. There was a recent podcast that stood out to me, and she had this young girl on there. Well, I'm saying she's young, she's younger than me. Who was really vulnerable and open, and it made me cry. And for those of you who are like, Michelle, you cry when you say mom. I know, but I am in touch with my feelings. And I have a lot of them, and sometimes they leak out of my eyes. So, but she was crying, and of course I'm crying, and I'm really resonating with what she said. And I thought, I should just reach out to this person she had on her podcast. And so I did. And just to let her know that her openness and her vulnerability spoke to me. Because my hope for her is that, for every person like me who might reach out and say, hey, you really just made a difference in my day, or I understand what you're going through, that there's thousands of other people who feel exactly the same way, who just aren't reaching out, that you can make a difference. She didn't have all these years of experience, but she had it in her heart that she wanted to make a difference. And just by being yourself and being authentic and saying, like, this is what I want more out of the world, and it resonated with me. So I absolutely love that. So when you think about things that you want to get done in your life, and you think about all the excuses that are holding you back, usually the first culprit is time or money, first two, right? I don't have enough time, or I have so much time that I need to do these other things instead, or I just don't have the money to do X, Y, Z, or it's not realistic. I wasn't raised that way. I don't know enough. Who would want to listen to me? I don't have the skill set. I mean, the list goes on and on of all the reasons that we're not perfect, that we can't do something that excites us, that gets us going. And I was even in that boat for a while. I started my business as a yoga teacher. And there's so many things I'm passionate about, and I love teaching yoga. Absolutely love it. But I also love connecting and having deep conversations and, thinking about how we can change the way that we look at the world and the way that we connect with each other. And I wanted to do that through yoga, but I was limiting myself, like, this is the only way. Which, one thing she talks about is, just take that step. And I've heard that a lot, take that step, but the way she said it and the way she allows that space for her guests on her podcast is just, it's really beautiful. It's really great. And the third takeaway that I had from her is there is more than one way to skin a cat. Not that she's skinning cats or hurting animals. Maybe that was a bad example, but there's more than one way to get to where you want to go. If you want to get across the room, yeah, you could walk there. You could crawl there. You could skip there. You could dance around in circles and eventually end up there. There's so many different ways to get across the room. But you're going to have some people who are like, well, just walk. It's the fastest, but doesn't mean it's the best or the most fun or the best for your body. Crawling's actually great for you, for your gait, for symmetry in your body, and to get all the different muscles moving. But most of us as adults, we're not crawling around. I mean, unless you're a stripper, but go ahead, girl, get it. But I love crawling around and I love dancing and taking weird paths in the journey to get to where I'm going. So when you think about your business, if you're starting as an entrepreneur or you're working at a job, it's like you think about where do I want to end up or where do I want to be? And there's not just one way to get there. And just because your parents got here or there in a certain way doesn't mean that's the way you need to. Or if you teach yoga like myself, and there's some people who they're like, okay, you gotta put the grunt work in, you've gotta go to the studio, you've gotta build the clientele, and then hopefully in 10 years or more, you'll have a following. And it's like, but then you've got some people who start a YouTube channel and then they have like 1 million subscribers. And they had the passion, they had the vision, they had the dedication, and they got the results in like a quarter of the time, a fraction of the time. And so when you think about getting to where you want to go, you don't have to have all the answers to get there, and you don't have to get there in one certain way. So the 3 takeaways are that we'll get farther if we lift each other up. So do things together. The second one is you don't have to be perfect to do something that excites you or just to get started today. And the last thing is there's not just one size fits all. There's not just one way to get to where you want to go. I really hope that if this resonated with you, feel free to like, subscribe, share with friends. Your feedback means a lot to me. You being here means a lot to me. And I know going forward, there's a lot of things that excite me, that I want to discuss. And if you have anything that you want to learn more about in the realm of yoga, nutrition, mindset, self-development, let me know what your questions are. Let me know what those things keeping you up at night are, and I will do my best to see if we can answer that in a future episode. Until next time, I hope you're kind to each other, and I hope everybody has a Heller good day. If you enjoyed today's content, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Your feedback and support mean the world to me. Want to feel Heller good more often? check me out on the socials, everywhere at HellerGood, or you can go to hellergood.com. Until next time, my friends.